And welcome. I'm Jeff Christ, Chair of the Orange County Funding Corp. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We do have a number of guests here tonight. We'll move the Orange County Funding Corporation meeting along quite quickly, and then we'll be succeeded by the IDA meeting. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please. Bill.
Jeffrey Christ.
Here.
Dean Tamburi.
Here.
Susan Walsky.
Here.
Linda Muller.
Here.
Mark Green.
Here.
And Dr. Vincent Odock.
Yes.
So 6 of our 7 members here, 1 in excused absence. We also have in attendance for staff, myself, Bill Fioravanti, Kelly Riley, Marty Barras, virtual here, our general counsel, Lino Sharetta, our New York State monitor, Mr. Brian Sandage, our county executive, right in here, sir, Steve Newhouse, and other officials, the City of Middletown Mayor, Joe DiStefano, the City of Middletown Commissioner of Public Works, Jacob Twill, we have the Town of Goshen Supervisor, Mr. Joe Betro, we have the county, how are you, sir? Thanks for being here. No problem, just started. County Attorney, Mr. Rick Golden, Michael Torelli from the County Executive's Office, and online, Susan Katzoff from Bousquet Holstein, Mr. Bart Lansky, who will be here for another matter, and we have both Dan O'Rourke virtually and Keith Kelly here from CDM Smith, a consultant for one of the projects we'll be discussing. I think I've got anyone. Anyone I missed? That's everyone in attendance.
Very good. We have proof of notice for the Orange County Funding Corp board meeting tonight. And our next item is approval of the minutes from the January 15th meeting. Board members have a copy of those. Any additions, corrections, or a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Linda, second by Susan.
I'll second.
And before we take that vote, any other comments there? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion
I
carried.
abstain.
And Mark abstains due to his absence last month. The reports, starting with the Finance Committee. Mark, back to you. If you would recap our Finance Committee meeting we just had a few minutes ago.
Sure. For the Funding Corp, there really wasn't much to discuss other than CD came due for just under $32,000 in revenue. Other than that, expenses were right in line with the previous month. The only other note I would make is that we have another CD coming due, but that'll be after our March meeting, so there's no need to discuss it today. That really was it for OCFC.
Thank you, Mark. Questions? Moving on to Linda with Governance Committee. Please,
Certainly.
Linda.
So we approved the minutes from the December 11th meeting, and the HR policies as well as the P&P policies are under review, and hopefully after the deep dive that we're doing with council, that those will be prepared and ready to go for review very quickly within the next month or so. And that's my report, sir.
Very good. Questions for Linda? Thank you, Linda. Moving on to new business, the January 2025 financials for the OCFC. They were reviewed in Finance Committee a few minutes ago, and the committee recommended that those be approved, but the board has a copy of those financials if there's any questions to consider. Questions on those financials? And I might also add the approval of the January-February payables, which were also reviewed and recommended for approval. And if there's no questions there, I would suggest a motion for both the financials and the payables by the full board.
I'll make a motion as presented to accept the financials and the payables.
Thank you, Susan. Second by Doc.
Second.
Thank you, Doc Odock. Other questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Lastly, for this meeting, authorization of invoice payments. Mark, are you gonna cover that, or Bill?
Let Bill, he said it so many times already.
Yeah, thank you. So just a quick recap. Last month, I reported that we have implemented an electronic bill paying platform called RAMP. It allows us to pay everything electronically, mostly through ACH. It's helping us to eliminate checks, which is helping to eliminate check fraud, which is a huge problem now. plus it's closing the cycle for our turnaround on paying bills. We had looked at possibly having committee members remotely approving bills, and it just seemed quite cumbersome, and I think an unfair ask. So really what we're looking to do is reauthorize an authorization that you made last April, where you allowed me to pay bills. At the time, it was up to $7,500, so that we could pay everything on time, and then the Finance Committee continues to scrutinize it in detail, as we just did a few minutes ago, shortly after the fact, within a couple of weeks after the fact. And if there's any concerns, you raise those. What we discussed in finance is that number may need to be higher, because our rent, for example, with CAM charges and utilities can exceed $8,000. So the number that was recommended from the committee to be authorized by the board is $9,000 for me to okay bills up to that amount, and again, with full scrutiny from the Finance Committee at the very next meeting. Does that summarize it properly?
Yes.
Perfect.
Any questions there? Would anyone care to make a motion authorizing that up to $9,000 payment per invoice?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Linda, second to that motion? Second. By Dean, thank you. Other questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, thank you. And unless there's anything else that should come before the Orange County Funding Corp., I would suggest a motion to adjourn. Motion. Motion by Dean, second by Mark, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Our meeting is wrapped up at 5:13 PM on February 19th.